Before I get to the crux of this video, I want to talk a little bit about developing leadership skills for our children. As a parent, I want my children to be extremely happy and successful, believing that their level of happiness will be their level of success. In short, I want my kids to lead a good and fulfilling life. As the parent of two children, I'm constantly gaining a further realization at what a monumental task this is. What do I teach them? What experiences can I share to further their journey in life? What skills and attributes do I feel are important to compete and survive in this world? One of my key philosophies in life is stop and listen. In a hectic world with many distractions, stopping what I'm doing and just listening has allowed me to ponder my own existence and draw conclusions about life. One such instance of this has to do with the qualities of a leader. This is not to say that I want my children to go out there and be a CEO of some large corporation or rule this world. No. But rather, I wish my child to learn how to take control of their mind and life and direct it for good. It just so happens that some of these qualities are those that have allowed men and women around the world to do well in their line of work. A good leader will have many qualities. I've narrowed it down to five that I feel are encompassing of other qualities, and as such can be considered the more important qualities of a good leader. Whatever your definition of success is, the qualities that leaders should and many do possess are ones that us parents could use to improve the quality of life for our children. Now, in this video and the string of videos to follow, I will be providing some insights on how to teach kids social skills using incidental opportunities, fun games, role play, and exercises that will make it relatively simple, easy, and ruthlessly effective. When your kid meets new people, does he look them in the eye and say hello? What about getting together with an uncle or aunt after some time apart? Does he greet them immediately with a smile or look awkwardly off to the side as they chat? Eye contact is an important social skill that helps us signal our interest in people. It makes us come across as more engaged, friendly, and confident, and shows we are listening and paying attention. If your child usually looks down or off in the distance while with others, he may be perceived as unfriendly or ill mannered. Unfortunately, lack of eye contact in kids may be a growing phenomenon, and technology may be partly to blame. Some studies indicate that excessive screen time, be it smartphones or tablet PCs or computers or TV, may be robbing kids of the chance to develop nonverbal communication skills, which is nothing but the ability to communicate with others without words and the aptitude for reading important facial emotions. Now, I don't mean to generalize here, but nowadays kids don't play board games. Kids don't have a lot of family meal times. Kids don't read books. All these impede the development of social skills in children. Here, I'm going to give you some guidelines about how to teach eye contact skills to your child. It involves incidental opportunities for teaching, plus role play and exercises. One of the things I taught my daughter as a toddler was to shake hands and greet people with a "Hello, how are you?" The simple gesture of physical contact and a genuine interest is a great way for kids to learn to communicate. Here are some things to work on when teaching children to greet in this manner. Primarily, eye contact, good grip, speak clearly, and listen. I'm not going to read through what's there, but I'm going to more talk about some of the guidelines. So, when you're teaching a skill to children, you need to begin by giving information about the skill. So, we need to start by explaining exactly what is involved in making eye contact, how it is to be performed. Explain why it is important to make eye contact and the possible downsides of not using good eye contact. Check that your child has understood what is needed. And finally, having discussed the skill, it is important to then demonstrate how the skill is performed. It's probably easiest to demonstrate the skill yourself as it is immediate. You can introduce a nice fun activity along with the handshake and hello exercise. When you first introduce them to someone, ask them, "What color eyes does Miss Maya have?" That way, they'll have to make eye contact. Tell them from now on you're going to ask them what color eyes everyone has. Since conversation with adults can be just as tough as the eye contact part, help your child prep ahead of time. Coach your kid to start by smiling and looking the person in the eyes, or if looking someone in the eye is too awkward, coach your child to look the person between the eyebrows instead, right at the top of the nose. To the other person, this will appear to be perfect eye contact, but it's a little easier for shy kids who are just learning how to connect with others. Encourage your child to use the great plus one fact formula for talking. Now, what does this mean? Let's say when grandpa or grandma start the conversation, it will usually be a question like, how's school going? The child's answer can be, great. In science, we are learning about the phases of the moon. So here you can see that started off positive by saying great and then continued to talk about a fact of what's happening in school. If the question is, how was your weekend? Try, great, our soccer team won the match, and so on. I love this formula and I've always encouraged my children to use this. Praise your child for attempting to use eye contact and describe what they did well. When children start to practice their new skills, they may not be very competent at first. It's really important you praise the smallest of improvements in your child's performance. They must not feel as if they've failed. Expect them to get better and better over time. Give your child gentle feedback about ways in which the skill should be improved. When children are learning new skills, they can only improve if they are given feedback about whether their performance is correct or whether some changes need to be made. If you're giving feedback about something that needs improvement, this should be phrased in a gentle and encouraging way. For example, you could say, "Well done. I really like the question you asked. Now try again and see if you can look at me just a little." Now, by doing that, they feel good about themselves since they've done something good, and then they get motivated to do better the next time. In the teaching of simple social skills such as eye contact, one fun way is to develop a set of practice cue cards. Conversation topics are written onto cue cards to prompt a short talk between you and your child, during which eye contact can be practiced. Your child picks a cue card from the top and starts a short conversation with you while making sure they keep good eye contact. Some examples of cue cards are given on the screen right there, but you could come up with your own topics. And this is truly a fun activity because you can, along the way, help the child develop his or her conversation skills as well. Encourage your child to practice by looking into the mirror and observing what's going on with their eyes. Ask them to try holding their eye contact for 30 seconds while talking to themselves. Coach them to practice the following technique. Look at one eye for 5 seconds, look at the other eye for 5 seconds, and then look at the mouth for 5 seconds, and keep rotating it this way. Role play with your child. Ask him to say hi to you while you respond by looking off to the side and maybe quietly muttering a greeting. Ask your child how he felt. Your kid will see pretty quickly that this approach doesn't exude friendliness. Explain that this is how others feel when he doesn't look at them, smile, and say a few words. Challenge your child to watch schoolmates and friends for a day. When they see each other for the first time or walk into a social group, how often do the other kids say hi and look at each other? They'll notice right away that other children do it a lot and they may realize that they should try to do the same. Remember to have a lot of fun as you're coaching your child. Humor is a way of making it more enjoyable and helps reduce any embarrassment or anxiety your child may feel. Remember to laugh with your child and not at them. Often, children simply do not realize how they are coming across to others. The more you can get them to experience what it is like to interact with someone who has poor eye contact, the better. Be patient. Eye contact can be a very intimate thing, even for us adults. Hey, that's why we face forward in an elevator of strangers instead of looking right at them. With a little coaching, though, your child can get comfortable with this key social skill in no time.